Hello students. So today we are going to start with our second chapter for class 11 from Snapshot supplementary book, and the second chapter is The Address, and this chapter is written by Magaminko, though the spelling is Minco, but original spelling was Men, but once when it was misprinted somewhere, then they never changed it. So now she is Magaminko. She has written this chapter, this story, The Address. And this address is talking about war. During the war, what happens? How do people feel? And what is the after effect of the war? And why she is, so poignantly she is able to write this story, because she herself has seen war from very close quarters, we can say. This Maga Minko, she is a Dutch uh, artist, Dutch writer, and we can say this year in 1920, she has turned 100 years. Yes, because she was born on March 31, 1920, and today it is 2020. Okay, so she was born in a Jewish family, very orthodox Jewish family, and in the early part of World War II, she shifted to Breda, and later in this war, the whole family was, we can say, deported, and afterwards maybe they got arrested. But this girl, she escaped the arrest, but afterwards she had to hide herself, okay, during the whole wartime. And here only she was met, we can say, by her husband, a poet, and they got married. And after that, they both hid themselves, okay, during the wartime. So this way we can say that she had seen this war and after effects of war from very close quarters, and maybe that's why she was able to give this lively picture of war, or we can say during the wartime, and what happens after the war, how do people feel, and what is the mental trauma during the war, even after the war. Sometimes mental trauma remains, okay, with people for the next many years. It's not that once war is over, maybe everything is over. No, only war is over, but that trauma sometimes continues for many more years. Okay, and this story, we can say, tells one more thing, that how life changes because of war. Okay, so what is the aftermath, what is the after effect of war, this also we will see through this story. I think we should now start with the chapter. Okay, The Address. Do you still know me? I asked. Now, what is the background of this chapter? I have told you background of the writer and this whole story, but now at present we have this chapter, The Address. Now here, the writer, she's talking about a girl who has lost her mother during the wartime, and now she goes to a place where she knows it very well that her mother has kept many valuable things at this particular address, because during the war they were always having this, we can say, threat that anytime they may have to leave behind their house and everything valuables, and maybe they would be running away from here, from that house, okay, in order to save themselves. So that's why this girl's mother had kept many valuable things with one of her friends, and she had given this address also to the daughter. And the same thing happened, they had to run away from that house. And now when war is over, everything is over, now this girl, she comes back to this address because she wants to take back all those things which were kept over here at this address by her mother. And why she wants all these things, maybe she doesn't know, doesn't need those things, but still she wants all those things. First of all, these are valuable things. Secondly, What makes it actually more valuable? That naturally it is related to the memory of this girl's mother, because through these things, this girl would feel the presence of her mother in her house. That's why she decides that these things should be taken back. And that's why now this girl comes to this house, okay, comes to this address. Do you still know me? I asked. Now this girl comes and she knocks at the door. And when the door is opened, she asked that lady that, do you know me? Okay. The woman looked at me searchingly. Searchingly means from head to toe. The woman looked at this girl. She had opened the door a chink. Chink means little bit. It's not that fully opened the door. No, she opened the door, and from there only she tried to see who is outside. Okay. I came closer and stood on the step. Because the lady was from the inside the house, she was trying to look through that door, okay, that opening, that who is there. So this girl came closer to the door so that the lady could see and recognize her. No, I don't know you. And from there only, from inside only, without opening the door, this lady said, no, I do not know you. Because the question was, do you still know me? Here still word is very important. Otherwise, normally what we say, do you know me? But here she says, do you still know me? Because this girl, she thinks that as they have already met, okay, many, many years ago, maybe this lady would still be, knowing about this girl, or she would still maybe having that memory in her mind. That's why she asked. But the lady straight away so says, no, I don't know you. I am Mrs. S. daughter. Here S means she took her mother's name, some name. Okay. She said, I am the daughter of your that friend so and so. Okay. She was my mother and she was your friend. So I am Mrs. S. daughter. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. But this lady, even after listening to that name of her friend, or we can say daughter's mother's name, she did not open the door. She rather put the hand on the door as if she wanted that the door should not further open and the girl should not come inside. This is what she did. Okay, her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. And even from the face expression also, this girl could not say that yes, this lady really knows her. Okay, she kept staring at me in silence. Moreover, this lady, she kept staring as if she was trying to recognize, but she said, no, I don't know you. Perhaps I was mistaken. Now, when she saw this lady was just looking at her and she was still not recognizing, that's why for once this girl thought that maybe I think I have come to the wrong address. Maybe this is not that lady. Perhaps I was mistaken. I thought, perhaps it isn't her. I had seen her only once, fleetingly. Fleetingly is for a very less time. Okay. She started thinking that maybe I have come to the wrong house. Because even I can't recognize this lady because I had seen her just for a second only, just for a few seconds only. And that was years ago. And that also, this happened many, many years ago. Now the girl started thinking that maybe she has come to the wrong house. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell. And she was thinking that maybe she has rung the wrong bell, wrong door. This is not that house. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. And now, the woman, maybe she had already put her hand, okay, at the door so that the door does not open further. But maybe for a second, she just removed her hand and the door was little bit more opened. She did not realize it. The door was more opened. Now what happened? When the door was more opened, now this woman was visible. Maybe more or less fully visible, and the girl could see the woman now. And what this girl saw? She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. And now she saw that she was wearing her mother's green cardigan. She recognized immediately. The wooden buttons were rather pale from washing. She saw, even noticed one more thing, that maybe this lady was wearing this cardigan on everyday basis. That's why from so much of washing, the wooden buttons, they had lost their shine. Okay, so they were rather pale. She saw that I was looking at the cardigan and half hid herself again behind the door. Now, this lady suddenly realized that the girl was looking at her, maybe at her cardigan. So she tried to hid herself once again. But I knew now that I was right. Though she tried to hide herself, but even then, the girl now was sure that she has come to the right house. So this is the lady where she wanted to come. Well, you knew my mother, I asked. Now, when the girl was confirmed that this is the correct house, this is the house where she wanted to come and she has come to the right house, and that's why now she did not ask once again that now you recognize me or not. Okay, she straight away puts second question, what she said. Well, you knew my mother. So you knew my mother. Have you come back? Said the woman. Now, women also didn't say, yes, I knew. She just asked another question. Have you come back? You have come back. It means actually this lady knew it very well that during the war, after keeping all these things with her, this family had left the house because of the war. Okay, this she knew it. And now, maybe for many years, when nobody came back, actually, that's why maybe the lady thought that nobody is going to come back. And maybe that's why she might have started using all those belongings of this girl's mother. And that's why she asked, have you come back? I thought no one had come back. Only me. The girl said, yes, only me. Yes, not my mother. Okay, because actually she's no more. So that this is what she said. Yes, I have only come back. A door opened and closed in the passage behind her. A musty smell emerged. And behind her means in the house. In the house, there was another door which was opened by someone. Maybe there was somebody else in the house, and that somebody wanted to know who is at the door. Okay, and when that inside door was opened, a musty smell, okay, came. It is not very pleasant smell. Okay, we can say musty smell is smell of moisture. When there is lot of moisture in the house, that kind of smell came. I regret I cannot do anything for you. Now, this lady didn't ask why the girl had come. She straight away said one thing only, that sorry, right now I cannot do anything for you. I have come here especially on the train. I wanted to talk to you for a moment. The girl said, but I have come from far away. I had to take a train. I want to talk to you. Please give me some time. It's not convenient for me now, said the woman. I can't see you another time. But the woman said, sorry, right now it's not convenient for me to give you this much time. So, sorry, you come some other time. She nodded and cautiously closed the door as though no one inside the house should be disturbed. And after this, she closed the door because she never wanted that those who are there in the house, they should be disturbed. I stood where I was on the step. Now the girl, she kept standing, though the door was closed again. The curtain in front of the bay window moved. Bay window means glass window. Okay, there was a glass window and she could see that curtain was moved. Maybe somebody tried to see who was there outside the house from the glass window. Someone stared at me and would then have asked what I wanted. Oh, nothing, the woman would have said. It was nothing. Though she could not maybe hear clearly, she could not see anything clearly, but because it was a glass window, that's why she could see a little bit, and maybe she was able to, judge that maybe whosoever was there inside the house, that person was inquiring about this guest who was outside the house, and maybe the lady might have said nothing. You do your work. There was nobody. So this way, I looked at the name plate again. Darling, it said. Now, this was Darling's house, so the lady's name is Mrs. Darling. In black letters on the white enamel and on the jam. Jam means long post. Okay. On the jam, a bit higher, the number 46. So, nameplate was there, Mrs. Darling, and there was a long post, and it was maybe wooden plate was fitted, and on that it was written house number 46. So, this was the address it was written. As I walked slowly back to the station, I thought about my mother. Now, especially now, this para is important because from this para, actually, this para is for the readers. From this para, we would get to know the background of the story. Okay. So now she is going back to the station because the lady has refused to, give her some time to talk to her. Now she is going back her home. She's Naturally she's to take the train from the station. So she's going back to the station, and now she's thinking all about the past time. Okay, I thought about my mother who had given me the address years ago. Now, first of all, she thinks about her mother because she only had given this address. It had been in the first half of the war. I was home for a few days, and it struck me immediately that something or other about the rooms had changed. Now, it is not written this girl had come from where. She said that for a few days I was at home. Maybe if she was studying, she might be staying in the hostel and she had come back. Or maybe she was married and she had come to stay with mother for a few days. Okay. But she said, I was here in my mother's home for a few days. Okay. When it struck me immediately that something or the other about the rooms had changed. She said, when I came to my home, immediately, maybe within 1 or 2 days, I noticed one thing, that there are certain things which were not at their places. Means something I saw that there was change in the room. Okay, this I immediately noticed. I missed various things. The changes were that there were many things which were missing. My mother was surprised. I should have noticed so quickly. She said, when I talked to my mother about those missing things, even my mother was so surprised that I am so keen, I am so observant that I have noticed that many things are missing. Then she told me about Mrs. Darling. And after this question, that where these things have gone, so mother told about Mrs. Darling. I had never heard of her, but apparently she was an old acquaintance of my mother, whom she hadn't seen for years. Though she had never heard this name, Mrs. Darling, but it was obvious that maybe Mrs. Darling was her mother's old friend. And for many years, maybe there was no contact, but suddenly they met again, they met somewhere, and then again, this friendship was, we can say this renewed their friendship. Okay. She had suddenly turned up and renewed their contact. Since then, she had come regularly. Suddenly they met somewhere and they renewed their friendship. Now, this lady, okay, started coming visiting her mother on regular basis. Now, what mother told about this Mrs. Darling? Every time she leaves here, she takes something with home with her, said my mother. Actually, now mother told about Mrs. Darling. She said, my friend is very nice. She lives in an area which is away from this war area, okay, which is very secure area. And here we are living, we know that we may, have to flee from here any moment because of the war. So that's why she's so nice that she has, started keeping my valuable things, okay, in her home. So every time, whenever she comes to meet me, she takes one or two valuable things with her, and she is keeping these things with her so that after the war we can take it. Or we can say, if we are to leave this house behind, we should not lose all those things also. So that's why now those things are secure at her place. She took all the table silver in one go, and then the antique plates that hung there. She had trouble lugging those large vases. Now she has taken the silvers, we can say cutlery set. She has taken antiques. She has taken large plates, and now she's in one, we can say, visit. She had taken those large vases also, maybe flower vases or something. So all these things are very costly, and she's so nice. She is keeping all these things in her own home so that these things are saved. She had trouble lugging those large vases. Had trouble lugging means once when she was taking large vases, naturally these were very large in size. That's why she had some problem, but she didn't say anything. Happily, she took all those large vases also. And I am worried she got a crick in her back from the crockery. And when she was taking the crockery in big box, okay, it was so heavy that maybe crick means she maybe got pain also in her back, but she never complained. Okay, she's so nice that she took those things also. My mother shook her head pityingly, and when she was telling all these things, she was still feeling pity for her friend, that she's so nice that she has taken all the things. Okay, now she's keeping all these things safe and sound over there. I would never have dared ask her. She suggested it to me herself. She said that even sometime I was also thinking that yes, I may lose all these things if we are to, run away from here. Then what will happen to all these things? I may not be able to take my valuable things. And it is so nice that she only offered, because I never dared to ask this thing. Okay, she only offered that she's ready to take my all the all these costly items. Okay, and she took it. She's so nice. She even insisted, maybe when she offered, and this girl's mother, maybe she said, no, no, it's okay, no, no. But she insisted. She said, no, I know that you may lose all these valuable things, so you are most welcome. You can keep these things at my place. So this way, she insisted. She wanted to save all my nice things. If we have to leave here, we shall lose everything, she says. This is what she said, that if you are to leave this place, maybe you won't be able to take anything with you. So you will be losing all these things. Better you keep it in my home. Have you agreed with her that she should keep everything, I asked. But the girl is doubtful. She asked, is it that all the valuable things you kept at her place? As if that's necessary. My mother cried. It would simply be an insult to talk like that. Okay. Actually, girl tried to say what she meant to say. She was trying to say that, is it that you said just you keep it for time being? Okay, means you should have told it that this is not that you are giving this lady all these things. You are just keeping for time being. This is what you told. But the mother said, how can I tell this thing? It is naturally insult to tell the person that afterwards I will keep it, that I will take it back. She says, no. She already knows it very well that after the war we will be taking back all those things. But it would be insult to tell this thing to the person. So I never told this thing. And think about the risk she is running each time she goes out of her door with a full suitcase or bag. And she says, how can I say all these things? Every time she's running a risk of maybe, like once it was a pain in the back, so this kind of physical pain she can get, but she's still taking in every visit she takes all these things. How can I ask all these things? My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. She said, I was really not convinced. I was thinking that mother should straight away tell this thing that after the war I am going to take back all the things back. But my mother never told it. And she said, I could not even say anything, because though I was not convinced, my mother also knew it very well that I am not convinced. But she looked at me reprovingly. Reproving means in a rebuking manner. Sometimes through the eyes only, parents show anger. So she showed anger, and this girl knew that yes, my mother has not liked this idea of asking the thing straight away from her friend. Okay, and that's why she said, after that we spoke no more about it. She said, after that I never asked about this friend. Meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to things on the way. Now, do you remember, this girl is walking back towards the station? And she said, now by now I had reached at the station. On the way, there were many things, okay, because this was my place only. I used to live here. So there were many places with which my memories were attached, but I did not give much attention to all those things. I was walking in familiar places again for the first time after the war, but I did not want to go further than was necessary. She said, after the war, after many years, I had come back to this place. Every place was having a memory. Okay, but she said, I never wanted to go deep into the memory lane. I just looked at the places. I never wanted to go beyond that. I didn't want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a precious time. She said, actually, I knew it very well, that if I let myself, go deep into the memory lane, it will be really painful for me because I had spent very beautiful golden days over here before war. And now, after war, when my mother is no more, my house is no more, okay, so I don't want to go deep into this because I knew it very well that it will give nothing but pain only. So that's why she said, I just reached to the station. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again as I had the first time I met her. See, this kind of lines, can come for RTC because you may get confused because the line says, in the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling. That does not mean that Mrs. Darling was there in the train. Mrs. Darling was at her home only. Here, she means to say that when I took my seat in the train, again I started thinking about Mrs. Darling. And now she thinks about that time when she had seen Mrs. Darling for the first time. Today she had seen Mrs. Darling for the second time. She goes back to the memory lane when she had seen Mrs. Darling for the first time. It was a morning after the day my mother had told me about her. Now, do you remember that when she asked about the things, missing things, mother told about Mrs. Darling only, that my friend is so nice that every time she, whenever she visits me, she goes back with one or two of my valuable things. She said next morning only, again she had come to meet my mother. So it was next morning only. I had got a plate and coming downstairs, I saw my mother about to see someone out, a woman with a broad back. So she said, I actually that day, I got a plate. When I was coming down from the stairs, I saw that there was some guest in her house and now the guest was going and they were at the door only. My mother was standing at the door only to see off her friend or this guest. And she said, I could see her back only from where I was coming down. There's my daughter, said my mother. She beckoned to me. And when mother got to know that daughter is, coming down, she called daughter. She wanted that daughter should also meet her friend. So she called her. There's my daughter. Okay, she beckoned to me. The woman nodded and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. Now this lady, she did not stop there, okay, for long to, to chat with this daughter. Mother called the daughter. Daughter went over there at the door, maybe just hello, hi, nothing else. Okay, and that's why the daughter could see the broad back, and maybe for a second only she could see the face of the lady also. This time again she saw that the lady was taking certain valuable things along with her just to keep it at her place. And what this daughter had noticed, that she was wearing shapeless hat and brown coat. Does she live far away? I asked. Now the lady was gone. Again, this girl asked that does she live far away? I asked, seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with the heavy case. In Marconi Street, said my mother. Number 46. Remember that. And what she said, she lives in Marconi Street only. And the house number is 46. Remember this. This is her address. I think we should stop here only. This is enough for the first video. In the second video, we will certainly complete our chapter. Thank you.